Breaking now on The Mike Gallagher Show.
Here's the headline from the New York Post. Donald Trump gets no penalty in hush money case, but will still become the first felon in the White House. And that's what you're going to hear all day long today. This despicable Manhattan judge, along with the despicable jury of New Yorkers, convicting Trump of 34 felonies over a business records error that was a misdemeanor originally that got turned into 34, and an expired misdemeanor because of the statute of limitations, got turned into 34 felony convictions. The president-elect is the first person convicted of a felony to assume the White House. Judge Juan, I'm not going to even use the word justice with this guy. Judge Juan Marchan, who oversaw a trial where jurors heard evidence that Trump paid off the porn star, sentenced Trump to an unconditional discharge. Marchan said, "Sir, I wish you Godspeed as you assume a second term in office." Of course, Trump faces no jail time, probation, or fines. Look, does he lose his right to vote? Does he lose his right to keep and bear arms? He does, right? I mean, we've stripped the 47th president of the United States from his constitutional rights, like voting, all because the supposed conservative justices on the Supreme Court didn't have the guts to do the right thing. John Roberts, he's a lost cause. He's no conservative. But Amy Coney Barrett, I mean, it was 5-4. If only one of the, supposed conservative majority of Supreme Court justices had done the right thing, Trump wouldn't have been subjected to this debacle. Now, I want to share a really nice text I got. It's a lengthy text, but I want to read it to you before we take some more phone calls at 800-655-MIKE. But I really do appreciate the note from Ohio. This is from Columbus, Ohio. Mike, just to set the record straight, and the whole time I've listened to you, I think I've only disagreed with you twice. I agree with you more than I do anyone, even in my circle of friends. Your opinions are usually very well thought out, and one of the things I like about you is you're willing to consider another opinion and even change yours from time to time. I think you may be wrong about Amy Coney Barrett, and let me tell you why. Trump put her in the position she's in because she takes a contextual, literal approach to the Constitution and the law. Basically, the law means what it says, and it says what it means. You don't read extra stuff into it. I think she would have liked to have put off Trump's sentencing, but a justice who believes in the law the way it's written and the Constitution may not have been able to find a legitimate reason to pause his sentencing, particularly in light of the fact that it isn't going to interrupt the operation of the government or take away his freedom. Oh, really? Does he have the right to vote? Not anymore. And I do. I appreciate it. The texter goes on and ends it with, "God bless Mike. Keep fighting the good fight." In Columbus, Ohio, I appreciate your point, your text to me very, very much. But let me give you a very simple response that allows me to say why I think you're wrong. If that's true, that you think that she's a justice who takes a contextual, literal approach to the Constitution and the law, you mean to tell me Neil Gorsuch does not? Do you mean to tell me Brett Kavanaugh does not? You mean to tell me Samuel Alito does not? You think Clarence Thomas does not? Why did 4 justices last night vote to uphold Trump's request to throw this sentencing out? She's not the only one, Ohio. And I've got great respect for Clarence Thomas. I've got great respect for Alito. I've got great respect for Neil Gorsuch. And there are 4 justices who did the right thing last night and 2 that did not. And that's John Roberts and Amy Coney Barrett. I think she was spooked by the protesters. I really believe that's what her problem is. Her kids were doxxed. Her kids were threatened. She doesn't like people on her front yard, and she doesn't want to tick off the Trump-hating universe. I can't believe because again, all of your points are great, Ohio. Now do the other four. Now do the four true conservative justices. And incidentally, what we've seen with this ruling last night is that it truly is a Supreme Court with four justices who are conservatives. Four. Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, Alito, and Clarence Thomas. Deborah's in Jacksonville, Florida. Hi, Deborah. Welcome to the Mike Gallagher Show. Deborah, are you there? Oh, you guys took away control of my phone lines again. Teresa's grabbing my phone lines. Let's try it again. Deborah, are you there?
Hello?
Hi, Deborah.
I am here.
Sorry about that. How are
me?
you? Yes, loud and clear.
I'm doing all right. I had a similar incident in 2019. I had a constitutional case before the D.C. Court of Appeals.
Okay, with all due respect, Deborah, I'm so sorry, and I know I don't want to get sort of bogged down or distracted with a personal case that you had where you had a bad experience in the court. So my apologies. Feel free to write me a note if you don't mind, Deborah, and I'll make sure we take a look at it. Mike@mikeonline.com. Dave's in Colorado Springs. Hi, Dave.
Hey, good morning, Mike. What
hey,
I
Dave.
see happening today was that they finally put the last knot in the rope of this coup with malicious intent towards Trump. And the good thing of it is I believe that gag order is going to be lifted as of today.
You know, I'm glad you mentioned that, Dave, because I think the gag order is over, and I expect Donald J. Trump's going to go DEFCON 1 on Juan Marchan. The audio is being released. We're going to take a moment to regroup, and the audio playback is now being released, and we'll share with you what it sounded like when this awful, awful travesty of justice took place. Look, I appreciate all the texters who are saying, hey, success is the ultimate vindication. And that's true. In 10 days, we'll be in Washington, D.C., broadcasting from the president's inauguration. I'm going to get to go to a couple of inaugural balls. I got the tux ready to go. I got the overcoat, the gloves, the scarf. And it's going to be chilly, but we'll be there. And I don't want to get too down. It just frustrates me when people can do the right thing and they don't. It just is annoying to me. It's just aggravating. So some of the text messages, Mike, look, this is absolutely ridiculous. You can be sure they'll do everything they can to try to hold up the appeal. I wish Amy Coney Barrett would resign. Well, that's not going to happen. But I mean, just a lot of interesting feedback. And I like the Michigan text. Mike, we got to celebrate the fact that no matter what they do to the man, he's our next president, and there's nothing they can do about it. They'll get theirs one way or another. And from Wisconsin, Mike, let your heart not be troubled. You know, I get it. I don't want to let my heart be troubled, but I also don't like it when bad people get away with doing bad things. And this is a real stain on the United States of America. Here's Miguel in Detroit. Hey, Miguel, welcome to the Mike Gallagher Show. How are you?
No, I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm just frustrated today a little bit about the Trump sentencing, but I'll get over it.
Oh, me too, brother. I got to disagree with you on one point. A while ago, you said you still had some faith in the justice system and, the process will pan out. I don't have any faith in the system anymore because they've let it gone this far. All of the appealable points that they say, he'll get his appeal, but the fact that the judge is corrupt and we have judges like this, right, just shows that they're willing to do anything. So there is no real justice. It's who you're friends with. What
yeah,
side
but that's, you're right in a way. But on the other hand, don't ignore what has happened. For example, ask Jack Smith how things turned out for him and his witch hunt. That case and his investigation is officially closed. Judge Aileen Cannon stepped in of the Federal District Court in South Florida and threw a lot of this crap out. It can happen. We have, I am mindful of the fact that people that don't think the way you and I think, Miguel, are going to say, yeah, well, those guys are, they're Republicans, they're conservatives, they don't like the way it turned out. Look, we can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. So I get what you're saying, but look, Jack Smith and every other aspect of the weaponization against Trump has failed. You think Fannie Willis is succeeding? Look at how that's crashed and burned.
Well, I understand that, brother. Yeah, but where is the where's the consequences for these people? Are they
That's
just
a good
barred?
point.
Is there going to be malice? What's that?
I know
prosecution.
But hey, Miguel, can I give you some reason to rejoice, to be optimistic, my brother?
He's our president.
The inauguration's in 10 days. And when you talk about accountability, I think we're going to see a lot of accountability. I believe that beginning January 20th, we're going to see some epic things coming out of the White House. Appreciate it very much. Good to talk to you, Miguel. Shannon here in South Carolina. Hi, Shannon. You got your snow boots on?
Yes, I do, actually. I'm ready for it.
I'm ready, too. I went over to the Walmart Supercenter and bought me a pair of $49 boots last night over here off of Pelham Road.
I left Pelzer a while ago, and it was snowing. So
it's already snowing in Pelzer now?
Yes.
Gotcha. All right, well,
so
be careful.
I have a question. Until this year, when I saw Biden basically embarrassing himself and our country, I didn't really worry about politics. But then this year, I got completely ingested in it, started listening to this show, and I learned a lot of things.
Sure.
So my question is, if Mr. Biden can release his son or pardon his son, can Trump not do the same thing for himself?
It's a great question. I mean, the power of the pardon is immense, Shannon, and it's one of the things we'll ask one of our many, we have a lot of resources that help prep us for the show, and you wonder about that. I mean, is he going to pardon himself? I mean, first of all, he's going to let the appeals process play out, but I think the short answer is yes. You're right. I mean, they're even talking about Biden issuing preemptive pardons for the likes of scoundrels like Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger and Tony Fauci. Stay tuned and welcome to the family, Shannon. We're glad you're with us. 800-655-MIKE.